Let me start with a question that most men don't want to face. Do you really know who you're talking to on social media? Or are you falling for a carefully designed illusion? Because here's the harsh truth. What you see online is rarely the full reality. Social media has become the stage, and many women have mastered the art of performance. They know exactly what to show, what to hide, and what strings to pull in order to get men's attention, admiration, and sometimes their wallets. And the scary part, most men don't even realize they're being played. Now, before you get defensive, let's be real. This isn't about demonizing women or painting them as villains. It's about exposing a system, a set of strategies that many women consciously or unconsciously use to control the perception men have of them. And if you're a man who doesn't understand this game, you'll keep falling for the same tricks over and over again. Here's why this topic matters. We live in a time where your attention is currency. Every comment, every share, those are deposits into someone else's bank of validation. And validation online doesn't just boost confidence. It translates into opportunities, influence, and even financial gain. Women know this, and many of them are using it to their advantage in ways that men often underestimate. So when I say deception, I don't mean lying in the traditional sense. I mean the subtle ways the truth gets stretched, hidden, or dressed up to look more appealing. Social media gives the power to create a version of yourself that might not match who you really are in real life. And here's the thing, men are usually the ones who pay the price for believing in that edited version. Think about it. How many times have you seen a girl post a picture that looks flawless, perfect angles, perfect lighting, perfect smile, only to meet her in person and realize she doesn't look even close to that? That's not an accident. That's not just how pictures work. That's a calculated use of filters, editing, and carefully chosen shots. And men keep falling for it. Or consider the way captions and stories are written. They're not just random thoughts. They're crafted to send a message. Maybe it's a subtle jab at an ex. Maybe it's bait for male sympathy. Maybe it's a way of saying, look at how many men want me, so you better step up. Every detail is a part of the game. And if you're not aware, you'll keep feeding into it without even realizing. But here's the real controversial part. The deception isn't just about appearance. It's about psychology. Women know that most men are visual creatures, easily influenced by beauty, attention, and the illusion of availability. So, social media becomes the perfect playground. By curating what they show and what they hide, they can pull men in, keep them hooked, and control the dynamic without ever giving much back in return. And men, most of us, walk straight into the trap. We double tap, we slide into DMs, we shower compliments, and the more we give, the more leverage she gains. Not because she's evil, but because she understands how to play the game better than you do. Now, let's make something clear. Not every woman online is doing this, but enough of them are that it's become a pattern men need to wake up to. If you're a man who's serious about your time, your energy, and your self-respect, you can't afford to ignore it, because every time you fall for the illusion, you lose. You lose confidence, you lose focus, and sometimes you even lose money. And let's flip the perspective for a second. Why do women feel the need to play this game? Because men reward it. If you didn't give endless attention to the overly filtered photo, if you didn't comment on every flirty caption, if you didn't compete for someone who thrives off being chased by multiple men, the power of that illusion would disappear overnight. But because most men are predictable, the system keeps working. That's why this video is going to be uncomfortable, because I'm not just exposing what women do, I'm exposing how men allow it to keep happening. And some of you won't like that. You'll want to believe that every DM, every interaction you have online means something deeper. But in reality, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. So here's my challenge to you. As you watch this video, stop thinking about how women are wrong for using social media this way and start asking yourself why you keep falling for it. That's where the real change starts. In this video, we're going to break it down into 3 clear sections. The first will expose the visual tactics, filters, poses, and illusions that shape your perception. The second will dig into the emotional manipulation, how posts, captions, and stories are designed to play with your feelings. And the third will reveal the hidden agenda, why these strategies exist in the first place, and what women are really gaining from them. By the end, you'll see social media
through a different lens. You'll stop being the guy who gets tricked by the highlight reel and start being the man who sees through the performance. Because here's the truth. In today's digital age, the biggest deception isn't what women post. It's the fact that men still believe it's all real. Let's be honest, men are visual creatures. What we see, we believe, and social media has become a playground where that weakness is tested every single day. The visual trap is the first layer of deception, a carefully constructed illusion designed to make women appear more attractive, more flawless, and more desirable than they actually are in real life. And here's the part most men don't realize. Every picture you see is a strategy. It's not random, it's not accidental, it's intentional. Take something as simple as the selfie. Most guys think a selfie is just a girl casually holding up her phone. Wrong. She knows exactly what angle hides her flaws, what lighting smooths her skin, what pose makes her figure look better. She's studied it. She's repeated it, and by the time that picture hits your screen, you're not seeing her. You're seeing her best 1% of reality, packaged and polished. Then add filters into the mix. With a single swipe, a filter can make skin glow, eyes shine brighter, and even reshape features. Think about that for a second. You're looking at a version of her that doesn't even exist outside of the app. But because your brain reacts to visuals first, you accept it as truth. You start building attraction, respect, or even obsession for an illusion. And it doesn't stop there. Social media is filled with what I call the stage lifestyle shot. You've seen it. The beach picture, the coffee shop moment, the candid laugh. But ask yourself this. Do you really think those moments just happened naturally? Number. They were staged, rehearsed, and snapped dozens of times until the perfect shot was captured. By the time you see it, it looks effortless, but behind the scenes, it was a performance. Here's where it gets controversial. The visual trap works because men keep rewarding it. Every comment, every DM saying, "You're gorgeous," confirms to her that the illusion is working, and so she keeps creating it. It's a cycle. Men see the image, believe it, reward it. Women see the reward, keep producing more illusions, and in the middle of that cycle, men lose sight of reality. Now let's slow down and paint a clearer picture. Imagine this. You meet a girl online. Her profile looks stunning. Smooth skin, perfect body, glowing smile. You start talking. She's fun. She's interesting. And those pictures have already sold you the dream. Then you finally meet her in person. She looks different. Not bad, but different. Less polished, less flawless, more ordinary. That moment of shock you feel, that's the visual trap exposing itself. You thought you knew her, but what you knew was her curated version. But here's the real danger. It doesn't stop at looks. These visuals also plant ideas in your mind about her lifestyle, her status, her value. A picture on vacation makes you think she's well-raveled. A picture with a fancy drink makes you think she's sophisticated. A gym mirror shot makes you think she's disciplined. But in reality, those might be just one-time events staged to send a message. Still, you as a man start building a whole narrative about her based on fragments that aren't even the full truth. And men, here's where you need to wake up. The visual trap isn't just about beauty, it's about control. If she can control how you see her, she can control how you treat her. You'll be more forgiving, more generous, more eager to impress, because in your mind, you're not dealing with an ordinary woman. You're dealing with the flawless version she sold you online. That's why awareness is everything. Once you start noticing the tricks, the poses, the filters, the staged backgrounds, you can detach from the illusion. You stop falling for the bait. You start looking at social media as what it really is, a highlight reel, not the full movie. And here's another uncomfortable truth. Most men don't stage their photos. Most men post casually without much thought, without angles, without filters. So when women see men online, they see them closer to reality. But when men see women online, they see an edited fantasy. That imbalance is why so many guys feel insecure or out of their league, because they're comparing their unedited selves to her perfected illusion. Now ask yourself, how many times have you scrolled through Instagram and felt like the women there were on another level, untouchable, flawless? That's not because they're actually flawless, it's because the visual trap is working on you. And the more you believe it, the more power it holds over you. But here's the good news. The moment you start questioning what you see, the illusion starts to crack. When you look at a picture and think, what's outside the frame? How many shots did it take? What filter was used? Suddenly, you're not the passive consumer anymore. You're the observer. And that shift in mindset puts the power back in your hands. Men, remember this. In a world where anyone can edit, stage, and filter their life, your biggest strength is the ability to see beyond the surface. If you master that, you won't just avoid being deceived. You'll stand out as the man who can't be manipulated by illusions. And that more than anything will change the way you move online. If the visual trap is about what you see, then the emotional hook is about what you feel. And let me tell you this straight. Social media is not just a place for pictures, it's a battlefield for your emotions. Most men don't even realize how easily their emotions are being played with online. They scroll, they react, they feel something, and they think it's just natural. But it's not. It's designed. The words, the captions, the timing of posts, they're not random. They're signals, they're bait. And if you're not paying attention, you'll keep swallowing them whole. Think about it. You're scrolling through your feed and suddenly you see a post that makes you pause. Maybe it's something emotional, something sad, something that pulls at your heart. Instantly, you feel the urge to respond, to comfort, to show support. And without even realizing it, you've just been pulled into the emotional hook. Other times it's not sadness, it's mystery. A caption that doesn't tell the whole story. A vague line like, "Some people will never understand." That's bait. It makes you curious. It makes you want to ask questions, check in, show that you care. And once again, you're hooked. Or maybe it's about status. A post that subtly says, "Look at how many people admire me." You see all the likes, the comments from other men, and you start to feel competitive. You start thinking, I have to step up. I have to stand out. That's another layer of the emotional hook, making you feel like you're in a race you didn't even sign up for. Here's the controversial part. These hooks aren't about truth. They're about control. By controlling how you feel, she controls how you act. If she can make you feel sympathy, you'll give her comfort. If she can make you feel curious, you'll give her attention. If she can make you feel competitive, you'll fight for her validation. And every time you react, you give away a piece of your power. And the scariest thing, it works because it's so relatable. Every man has been there. Every man has seen a post and thought, is that about me? Should I say something? Should I prove myself? That's why the emotional hook is so powerful, because it plays on feelings we all share. The need to be seen, the need to matter, the need to win. But here's what you need to understand. When you fall for the emotional hook, you're not just responding to her. You're responding to a carefully managed image. And the more you do that, the less you're in control of yourself. You become predictable. And once you're predictable, you're easy to manage. Men, this is where you have to wake up. You need to realize that not every post deserves your reaction. Not every caption deserves your curiosity. Not every emotional moment is as deep as it looks. Sometimes it's just another move in the game. If you really think about it, how many times have you gotten worked up over something you saw online, only to realize later it wasn't even what you thought it was? How many times have you wasted time, energy, or even your peace of mind chasing after the meaning behind a post that didn't mean much at all? That's the trap. That's how the emotional hook drains men quietly, consistently, day after day. But here's the shift. Once you recognize it, you can break free. When you scroll and see something designed to stir you, pause. Ask yourself, why am I reacting? Is this really about me, or am I just being pulled into a game? That single moment of awareness separates the men who stay in control from the men who keep getting played. At the end of the day, remember this. Attention is the most valuable currency on social media. The emotional hook is simply a way to take yours without you even noticing. And if you don't guard it, you'll keep giving it away for free. Men, your emotions are powerful. Don't let them be controlled by captions, posts, or digital signals. Because the moment you do, you stop being the man in charge and start being just another follower, chasing after shadows. We've talked about the visual trap. We've broken down the emotional hook. But now we need to get to the core, the reason behind it all. The question every man should be asking is this: why do women use these strategies on social media in the first place? What's the purpose? What's the agenda? Here's the blunt truth. The agenda is leverage. Social media gives the power to control perception, to collect attention, and to turn that attention into real-world advantages. And too many men are willingly handing over that power without ever questioning what's happening. Let's start with validation. Likes, comments, and DMs are more than just digital reactions. They're fuel. They build confidence, they create status, and they feed self-image. When a woman knows that a single post will attract hundreds of reactions from men, it tells her something important. She has influence, and influence is power. But it doesn't stop there. Attention online can open doors in real life. More followers mean more social value. More attention means more options. And here's where men often fail to see the bigger picture. While you're giving away your attention freely, thinking it's harmless, she's stacking it, using it, and gaining from it in ways you don't even notice. Now, let's talk about something uncomfortable. Many men don't just give attention. They give devotion. They invest time, energy, and sometimes even money into women they've never met in person, all because of the image they've seen online. And the problem isn't that women create this system. The problem is that men keep feeding it. Men, you have to hear this. If you stopped rewarding illusions, the agenda would collapse overnight. The only reason it works is because men make it work. Every time you chase a picture, react to a vague caption, or compete for validation, you prove that the game is effective. And instead of breaking free, you just dig yourself deeper into it. That's why part of the hidden agenda is built on predictability. Many women know exactly how most men will react. They know that if they post a certain type of photo, men will rush in. If they write a certain kind of caption, men will start asking questions. If they show just enough attention back, men will cling harder. And because men are predictable, the cycle never ends. So here's where the criticism comes in. Men need to stop blaming women for using the tools available to them and start questioning why they keep falling for it. Social media is just a platform. What you choose to reward is up to you. If you keep rewarding the performance will keep going. If you start demanding authenticity instead of illusions, the game changes. Wake up to this fact. Your attention is not cheap. It's not worthless. It's valuable. Every time you give it away without thinking, you're trading your value for nothing. And if you continue doing that, don't be surprised when you feel drained, overlooked, or taken for granted. Here's the advice. Pull your attention back. Stop giving away likes, comments, and time as if they mean nothing. Start guarding your focus. Not every post deserves your reaction. Not every woman deserves your energy. Save it for the people who actually invest in you, who show you something real, who don't rely on illusions to keep you hooked. Because here's the reality: social media isn't going anywhere. The visual trap and the emotional hook will always exist. The hidden agenda will always be there. But the difference lies in how you respond. You can either stay asleep, keep rewarding the system, and wonder why you're not respected. Or you can wake up, see through it, and start living on your own terms. Men, it's time to stop being the predictable audience and start being the man who sees through the performance. Once you do that, you'll stop being manipulated by illusions, and you'll start being respected for the reality you live in. We've come to the end of this breakdown. You've seen how the visual trap works using images, filters, and illusions to sell men a fantasy. You've seen how the emotional hook pulls you in with words, captions, and feelings that keep you chasing shadows. And you've seen how the hidden agenda ties it all together, giving women leverage while men willingly hand over their attention like it's free. Now, here's the part where I need you to sit up, because what I'm about to say will make some of you angry. But the truth isn't meant to make you comfortable. It's meant to make you think. The most dangerous thing happening to men today isn't that women are deceiving them on social media. It's that men are deceiving themselves by believing it. That's the controversial statement I want you to wrestle with. Let it sink in. It's not just about what women are posting. It's about what you choose to believe, how you choose to react, and what you allow to control you. Because let's be honest, if you keep falling for illusions, you're not just being deceived, you're participating in your own deception. And this is where the criticism comes in. Too many men refuse to take responsibility. It's easy to say women are manipulative online. It's easy to say they play games with attention. But the harder thing is to admit that you've been part of the system the whole time. You've been the one double tapping. You've been the one commenting beautiful under the same photo as 50 other guys. You've been the one checking stories, waiting for replies and giving away attention like it costs nothing. If that stings, good, because that sting is what wakes you up. Men, you need to hear this. Your attention is the most valuable currency you own. Not your money, not your clothes, not your car. Your attention. Whoever controls it controls you. And right now, too many of you are handing it away to illusions, leaving yourself drained, insecure, and frustrated. The moment you stop, the game changes. The moment you stop being predictable, stop rewarding illusions, and stop chasing every emotional hook. You take your power back. And when you take your power back, you stop being a follower and start being a leader in your own life. Now, let me give you advice you won't forget. Don't wait for the online world to respect you. Respect yourself first. Social media will always be full of performances, but you don't have to be the audience that claps for every act. Guard your energy. Guard your attention. Use it only on what actually builds you, not on what drains you. Because here's the reality. Women aren't going to stop using these strategies. Why would they? It works. It gives them validation, attention, and leverage. The only variable that can change is you. If men start valuing themselves, the power of illusions collapses. If men wake up, the system loses its hold. And that's why I say the real problem isn't women playing the game. It's men refusing to stop playing along. So, here's where I want to bring this full circle. You've heard the breakdown, you've heard the truths, you've heard the challenge, but now I want to hear from you. What's been your experience with this? Have you ever fallen for the visual trap, the emotional hook, or the hidden agenda? Have you caught yourself giving too much attention online? Or have you already started to wake up and take your power back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't just watch this and move on. Speak up, share your story. I'll be going through the comments. I'll be reaching out. And I want to create a real connection with the men who are ready to wake up and live differently, because this isn't just content. It's a conversation. And maybe, just maybe, your story will be the wake-up call for another man who needs to hear it. So let me leave you with this. Stop being the victim of illusions and start being the author of your reality. That's the only way forward.